17 people thrown off flights. 17. Drunk as a skunk at a hen party. A bride-to-be got escorted down the aisle of a Ryanair flight in July 2017 when her hen party disrupted a flight from Liverpool to Spain. Passengers cheered when the group of girls were removed, calling them drunk and vile creatures. 16. Zip it. The 28-year-old Stephen Kennedy was adamant to get onto a Southwest airline flight from Las Vegas to Chicago, since whatever happened in Vegas couldn't stay there, but had to get the hell out. Kennedy, who was allegedly drunk, was thrown off the flight, but managed to run back on board, where he was zip-tied to his seat until police arrived. 15. If the cap fits, then wear it. This Trump supporter delayed a flight from Shanghai to Newark by nearly 8 hours. The unknown elderly passenger reportedly refused to be seated next to anybody and wanted 3 seats for himself. He was eventually removed from the flight, but not before he accused Hillary Clinton of being a lesbian. 14. Singing his praises. Grammy Award winner Richard Marx made headlines in December 2016 when he helped to subdue a passenger whom he called deranged from a flight between Vietnam and Seoul. According to fellow passengers, the crew tried to subdue him, but he was violently kicking and spitting. He told fans later on his Twitter page that he was not a big hero. He just did what he knew was right. 13. Talk about a security blanket. A 66-year-old man who disrupted a flight from Las Vegas to Honolulu was removed by police and the FBI after the flight had to divert to Los Angeles. The elderly man was handed a blanket by one of the crew members, and he totally lost it when he learned that he actually had to pay $12 for it. His temper saw him being escorted off the flight, and all of that for $12. 12. Who let the dogs out? Not only did this unruly passenger refuse to put her seat in an upright position, she also let her dog run down the aisle while she was verbally abusing the crew. This American Airlines flight en route to Chicago was delayed by 4 hours. 11. Blood, sweat and tears. Pilots on a flight from Miami to Chicago had to ask for help from male passengers to detain an out-of-control passenger who kicked, punched, kissed and bit flight attendants. According to eyewitnesses, she appeared disoriented throughout the flight and was sweating profusely. 10. You get what you pay for. It's not every day an unruly passenger gets the attention of both the FBI and the military. This 25-year-old Turkish man on a flight from Los Angeles to Honolulu bought an economy class ticket, but insisted moving to first class. In his fury, he kicked a service cart and basically looked and behaved like a really spoilt little boy. 9. A broken record. A female passenger on an American Airlines flight in 2013 mastered the art of making one of the best-selling songs of all time completely unbearable. The unnamed woman started singing Whitney Houston's hit "I Will Always Love You" the moment the plane took off. The flight was diverted to Kansas City and the woman was escorted off the plane, still singing. 8. Answering the call of nature. What could be worse, making national headlines for urinating on yourself in an airplane, or being escorted off a plane for relieving yourself in the loo? One can't help but feel sorry for the 39-year-old Kima Hamilton, who went to the toilet while the plane was next in line for takeoff. He definitely wasn't keen to make headlines for urinating on himself, so he opted to use the loo. The crew explained to him that he would make them lose their spot. But when nature calls, nature calls. Hamilton was kicked off the flight moments after flashing. What is your take on this unusual situation? 7. Who says you can't have your cake and eat it too? There is nothing better than a buttercream cake to celebrate a 40th birthday with family. Instead of purchasing a cake at their Las Vegas destination, this family brought it on board and tried to place it in the overhead compartment. According to JetBlue Airline, this was a security risk, unless they stored it under the seat. The commotion around the cake led to insults and profanities, and the family was kicked off the flight. 6. Nothing in life is free. A passenger on a Virgin Atlantic flight from London to Jamaica got abusive with the crew when they refused him more booze. While others enjoyed their free drinks on flight, this man clearly had enough. The pilot decided to land the plane in Bermuda, probably hoping for the problem to disappear. 5. Just look what the cat dragged in. A passenger on a United Airlines flight from Baltimore to Chicago later complained with the airline after a cat made it to their destination 5 hours before she did. Donna Weigel was seated near a cat and asked to be moved to prevent an asthma attack. Clearly, Donna was not the cat's whiskers and got booted off the plane. To be fair though, as she said, why was she moved off the plane and not the cat? I would have also caused a bit of a stink myself. 4. Every dog will have its day. A 75-pound guide dog named Quinn was kicked off an American Airlines flight with his blind mom, Sue Martin, after making themselves comfortable in seats kindly offered by a passenger in first class. Quinn did not fit into his allocated seat, which created a problem for Sue and her companion. She was informed that even though guide dogs are allowed on flights, they were not allowed in first class. 3. Don't call me, I'll call you. Don't think that celebrities always get special treatment, because when it comes to safety mid-air, what is good for the goose is good for the gander. Heartthrob Josh Duhamel was escorted off a flight from New York to Lexington in 2010. Why? Well, he refused to switch off his BlackBerry as the plane was already taxiing down the runway. Can you blame him? Actors should never have their phones off, just in case they get a casting call. 2. Talk about excess baggage. Supermodel Naomi Campbell is no stranger when it comes to anger management issues. In 2008, she lashed out at British Airways when she discovered that her luggage was not on the same flight as hers. To be honest, you don't have to be a supermodel to get hysterical if you are separated from your luggage. Police were called in who literally had to drag Naomi off the flight after she became abusive towards them. 1. Having words. Hollywood star Alec Baldwin felt he was singled out by a flight attendant for not switching off his phone when the pilot started preparations for takeoff. Baldwin, who later said he was playing a game called Words with Friends, then ran to the toilet and slammed the door so hard that the crew became concerned. I wonder what words he had with his friends once the pilot kicked him off the plane. Have you ever witnessed a person being removed from an airplane or have a story to tell? Then tell us in our comment section below and subscribe to our channel for more crazy videos just like this. Thanks for watching.